Live at Randwick for the Royal Sovereign Stakes, 1200 metres. This is a race of Group 2 status. It's for 3-year-old colts and geldings and has been won by some very smart horses in recent years. Last year it was Dane Win, and coincidentally Dane Win will be in an exhibition gallop on the course proper here at Randwick after the running of race 5 today, and he of course is on track for the richest race in the world to be run in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates in March, worth 5.3 million Australian. Now coming up into line, Saturn Planet is the first in, ahead of Vernal. Vernal in the second set of Woodland Stud colours, black, white star, white cap. Donar in the third set, black, yellow sash, has come up into line ahead of Wave a Tree. Classy Fella about to join the line. Waiting on Burrito, Delinquent, Super Slew, and Catalan Opening is standing some distance back. Catalan Opening was unfortunate enough to strike nothing like a Dane in several of the big 3-year-old races back in the spring, and this is his first run since the Victoria Derby, in which he was unplaced, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if he runs a bold race, nice and fresh, Catalan Opening, because he's got plenty of class. Now they're all there, with one exception. There's one horse still out whose colours are partly obscured. I just can't pick it up at the moment. The horse out behind the line. I can't see him through the stall uprights. Might have been Super Slew, was it? Yeah, Super Slew is the last one to go up on the outside of the field, and they look to be all set and ready. Now Burrito, Vernal stands up well, so does Donar. Gates open, off in the Royal Sovereign, and Vernal is a shade slow to move at the start. Delinquent is about the first out. Super Slew is away well, and so is Saturn Planet. Successful, quickly getting through into a handy spot, and Ravada prominent soon after the start. Catalan Opening is showing plenty of early dash. Vernal is now getting along the fence into a handy spot. Falante back a bit and awkwardly bailed up on the inside of Donar. In that bunch is Wave a Tree, and a good gap then to Classy Fella, and Burrito on the outside has dropped out last as they come to the 700 metres mark. Saturn Planet on the inside and Successful are the two leaders, and they're clear of Delinquent. On the rails fourth is Vernal. On the inside of Catalan Opening, 3 deep is Ravada. Super Slew is off the track on the outside of Donar. Falante is worse than midfield, close to the fence as they turn for home from Classy Fella, Wave a Tree and Burrito. Coming over the rise, and Successful headed Saturn Planet. Catalan Opening into the clear is running a heck of a race. Catalan Opening has cantered to the lead at the 200 mark. He dashed clear of Successful, Saturn Planet, followed by Vernal, but it's all Catalan Opening 100 out. Here's Falante out of the pack going after him. Catalan Opening, though, shaken up in the last little bit, is holding Falante at bay, and Catalan Opening scores a sparkling first up win. Falante second, Ravada third, followed by Delinquent, Successful, then Vernal, Classy Fella, Saturn Planet, Donar, Super Slew. Well back is Burrito, and Wave a Tree is last in the Royal Sovereign. Well, it's just incredible the way some of these staying horses can sprint when they're fresh. You wouldn't believe that's the horse that ran in the Victoria Derby, the Norman Robinson Stakes and the Spring Champion Stakes last spring. He looked like a 1,000-metre horse today. Number 7, Catalan Opening, had no difficulty being within 3 or 4 lengths of the pace, and when he came out of the pack, he went past the leaders as though they were tied to the fence. A brilliant first up win to Catalan Opening, ridden by Glenn Boss, a winning double for Glenn, who won the previous race on the penny. Catalan Opening to pay $8.10 and $2.50. Falante second, Darren Beedman, place dividend $1.50, and number 1 third, Ravada, ridden by Larry Cassidy, pays a place dividend of $1.90. 7, 8 and 1. As we take you back to the drag racing.
Goes back, grand finals.
We take you to Sandown Racecourse in Melbourne now for the Sandown Park Stakes. This is actually named after the famous English racecourse. This is a listed race, 1,000 metres, and they'll go very fast in it. And there's been good support for a horse called Extrax, which is number 11. It's been extremely well supported on track. Grand Bay, number 2, trained by Lee Friedman, is also expected to run very well, and there's been good support for number 4, Another Excuse. They look to be the 3 with most admirers. Next best is number 9, Street Talk. The line's taking good shape at Sandown. And as I said, it's a 1,000 metre scamper. I noticed that Dana Singer, number 1, Dana Singer, also trained by Lee Friedman, has been the medium of very late support. So punters are having a job sorting this one out. Any one of 4 or 5 could win without surprising. Your commentator for this race is the one and only John Russell, and John is now ready for his broadcast of the Sandown Park Stakes.
Extract standing in well. Grand Bay is ready. They're off. Grand Bay jumped out well with Dana Singer. Street Talk commenced nicely, and so also did Petita Moore. Extracts is going very fast along the inside, and so is Barcara. The Al Grey is going quickly along the inside to head them off, and Perry Harker tailed out to last, settling into Strider. And Street Talk is one of the leaders with Barcara towards the inside. They were followed closely by Petita Moore, and just in behind them is Another Excuse going forward, followed by Dana Singer a bit further back, and Grand Bay is over on the outside, followed by Extracts, who's next to last as they make the turner, and Perry Harker last of all. Street Talk the leader, kicked away a couple of lengths in advance of Barcara. Petita Moore, Another Excuse down the outside. Extracts behind them, held up for a runner. Dana Singer a bit further back. Grand Bay is under the whip as they come down with 200 to go. Street Talk is the leader. Another Excuse is running on strongly, and so is Petita Moore in the centre, and Dana Singer down the outside is starting to storm home. Dana Singer coming after these leaders very quickly in the final stages. Another Excuse tackled by Dana Singer. Dana Singer going home the better, grabs the lead. Dana Singer's got up to score. Dana Singer's won it from Another Excuse. Grand Bay maybe third ahead of Street Talk. Not much between that pair then. Perry Harker, Barcara, Extracts is second last, and Petita Moore has run last. Number 1, Dana Singer, ridden by Damien Oliver, gives Damien a winning double here this afternoon. Has rattled home to score in the Sandown Park Stakes, $6.40 and $2. $6.40 and $2. You'd wanted to have backed him if you'd had a look at him in the mounting out. He looked absolutely superb. Dana Singer, there he is, coming at Another Excuse. Street Talk didn't find a great deal when tackled, and Dana Singer going home much the better, is drawn away for a good win on the line, winning it by nearly a half length over Another Excuse. Street Talk and Grand Bay, not much between that pair for second and third. Looks as if Street Talk might hang on to third there ahead of Grand Bay. With the horses not near the line yet. Oh, here they are. Yes, Street Talk looks to have just got up for third, or held on for third ahead of Grand Bay. 1-4, and Street Talk will get third. The winner, number 1, Dana Singer, $6.40 and $2. Second is Another Excuse, number 4, at $2.10. Third placing will go to number 9, Street Talk, and it will pay a dividend of $2.10. It has, in fact, got third ahead of Grand Bay. So it is 1, 4 and 9 official placings in the Sandown Park Stakes. Dana Singer, the winner, returning to racing with a big win in the Sandown Park Stakes, set for a successful autumn campaign. A bay horse, a 4-year-old by Dane Hill out of Princess Tracy, raced by the Winyara Stud Limited Syndicate, managed by Mr. A. Krishnan and Rick Charlton, and trained by Lee Friedman at Flemington. Dana Singer first, ridden by Damien Oliver. So that's a winning double to Damien here this afternoon. Winning double also to Lee Friedman. Here at Sandown, they won the first event with the highly promising, or the first race with our Cashel, who certainly struck a mark here this afternoon with a big win in the first of the day. And a winning double to Lee Friedman and Damien Oliver, with Dana Singer the winner in the Sandown Park Stakes, and the time posted was 58.1. 58.1 on this track, rated dead. Officially fourth was number 2, Grand Bay, has just missed the place, would have got third in another bound, and 5 ran fifth, and that was Barcara. So Grand Bay having to be content with an unplaced run there after being well tried, and the race going to Dana Singer, the stablemate, ridden by Damien Oliver, ahead of number 4, Another Excuse, and third placing to Street Talk. In the fifth of the day, we're coming up to the big one of the afternoon, which is next on the card here at Sandown, and this will be the CF4 Stakes, the 71st of the series, a Group 1 event over 1,400 metres at weight for age at 2 minutes past 4.
Okay, race 7 at Sandown in Melbourne is a race for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, over 1,200 metres. There's one scratching here, Courtly Qualms, and the popular picks are number 3, Country Lane, and 9, Apollo Lane. They say it's a long lane that has no turning. Number 12 is also out, number 12, Abondanza. So we've got a field of 11 really to run in this. John Russell is your commentator. Looks as though we still have 1 or 2 obstinate ones, and there's a jockey down on the ground there. In fact, that particular mare is not keen on the job at hand at all. She tried to rear there. 2 riders out of the saddle, actually. So we've got some sort of a delay on our hands. Sandown Racecourse in Melbourne is a tough track. It has an uphill straight. It's not a place for weak reeds, and quite often you'll see a horse well clear as they come around the home turn, and they look to be home for the world, but they'll stop and horses will come from well back and invariably get up to win. Whether or not that'll be the case here remains to be seen. I think we might go to Sandown and let John Russell tell us the story about this obstinate mare that's holding up the start. Here's John Russell.
And returning after a spell, place getter in the Railway Stakes 2 years ago behind Island Morn. Country Lane on the move, Scorched the Turf, who ran a forward race down the straight at Flemington last week. Now I notice that this one is tumbling in, the top one, into 1860. It was at $29 a few minutes ago. It's into 1860 Calypso. And the favoured one on the tote number 9 at $4.10 is Apollo Lane, who's been racing very well here. Last couple of weeks, he was just nosed out by New Smyrna. Last time at him, before that, scored in good style. Still Brave Leads rider out of the saddle, Scorched the Turf with the clerk of the course, and also Country Lane. And Calypso still on the move. Benella race on Monday, Kyneton Tuesday. First race at Kyneton 1:15. Big card of racing at Ballarat Wednesday. And the Sail Cup meeting, the Mercedes-Benz Sail Cup, should be a great day of racing on Thursday, followed next week, of course, by the two-day Mornington Cup Carnival on the 21st and 22nd. The Coca-Cola Emmental Victoria Mornington Cup is run on the Wednesday the 21st, and the RM Ansett Stakes on the Thursday. A Brave Lead just having the bridle adjusted, and there's Calypso on screen. Now moving in Country Lane, Scorched the Turf to move up. $4.10 number 9 for Apollo Lane, $4.60 number 3 Country Lane, $7.10 number 5 Sabre Surprise, $7.50 number 7 on Tont Cordial, $12.30 for number 2 Clicko. So now it's only Brave Lead to come up. All other runners stand up in the desired manner. Friendless Babe makes a good line. A boil over in the CF4 Stakes, the previous event. Races edge leading all the way to score from Count Chivas, with Circles of Gold in third place, just ahead of Mahogany, and Jern finishing a fair way back. Now it's attendant still making some adjustments here. I notice the catalogues are out for the Victorian Premier Yearling Sales, which will be held at the Oakland Sales Complex on the 14th and 15th of March. And for those people looking for a catalogue for the Melbourne Premier Yearling Sales, they can contact William Inglis and Son. Looks an excellent catalogue too. And of course those big sales tomorrow at Morfordville in South Australia, the Apcos Bonus Yearling Sales, selling commencing at 10:30 tomorrow morning and again on Monday morning. Now Brave Lead to come in. She goes up into the stalls, gates are closed behind her, so we're ready to go in the Hyderabad Race Club handicap. All set for action. Stand by for a start. Apollo Lane, the inside runner. All set, waiting for the light. Distance 1,200 metres. Stand well. Start coming up. They're racing. And Apollo Lane was the first into stride from Country Lane, Friendless Babe, and also away well as Brave Lead and Scorched the Turf, going very fast with Entente Cordial and Tower Seal, Sabre Surpriser. Calypso is in behind them, followed by Country Lane, dropping back second last, and Clicko is last of all. Down the hill they travel, Scorched the Turf, 2 lengths clear of Brave Lead, a length further back in third place Entente Cordial. Friendless Babe is on the rails. They're followed by Sabre Surprise, a length and a half to Tower Seal, followed by Calypso. Apollo Lane back along the inside, and a gap in the field then over on the outside to Country Lane, who's next to last, and last of all is Clicko, rounding the home turn. 600 metres left to go. Scorched the Turf, the leader. A length to Brave Lead, followed by Sabre Surprise, just in behind them. Further back in the field was Black is Beautiful, followed by Entente Cordial, Tower Sealer, and Calypso going very deep as they straighten up, and Country Lane's a long way back as they come to the 300. Scorched the Turf's got a big break on them. Coming to the 250, led 2 lengths to Brave Lead, running on pretty well, followed by Sabre Surprise, and then Apollo Lane getting a run through along the inside, and Calypso coming home from a long way back. Scorch the Turf is well clear with 100 to go. Brave lead, Apollo Lane and Entente Cordial, but Scorch the Turf wins it easily. Scorch the Turf has won it. Apollo Lane is second. Brave lead is third, followed by Entente Cordial and Clicko, and back behind them Sober Surprise, Calypso, Friendless Babe, Country Lane, and last of all is Tower Seal.
Neil Diamond is back.